Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, we are here. We are making moves. I said to myself, I have to go live today, March 1st. Happy March 1st. And if you hear any crickly cracking, it's because Luna just entered the room, aka my cat. How you guys are doing? I pray that everybody is well. I pray that everybody is in good spirits. Ooh, we're showing a little too much cleave. Guys, I literally just came, well, actually I just got out the shower, to be honest, and I had a wonderful gym session. I didn't go to my regular gym because they had a apparently electrical fire, it was said, but I'm praying that everything is well and it be back up in great conditions. So I went to another location, so that was cool. I go to Crunch, so that was a jam, and I have to say I really had a really good time. But in saying that, I was thinking about change. If there was anything that you can change, what would it be? Have you ever asked yourself that particular question? I personally love to just keep on looking forward. I feel like for me personally is that sometimes going into if I could change anything, would it be, can come from a place of regret. And I personally don't regret anything. There are some things that I would love to say I regret that, but the abundance of the learning experience will not allow me to do so. And I wanted to share that message with you guys. You know, we live in a society where it's always telling us to do more, we're not enough at what we're doing, go for it, go harder. But how about simplifying that and taking that time to go back, dialing back on yourself? And it really does work. It really does allow you to really sit there and say, you know what, if I could change anything, what would I change? And I used to be afraid to answer that question. But I did ask myself that question. I asked myself that question about, I want to say 2 months ago. I asked myself, if I could change anything, what would I change? And it had to do with my physical health. Now, we know, but if you don't know, if you are, or unless you're not thinking about it in that term, your physical health is connected to your mental health. And I have disclosed to you guys that I deal with anxiety, and I feel like the fact that I answered that question for me, now what works for me may be different for you. It may show up in a different way. But for me, my physical health has a lot to do with my mental health, because when I take time to show up for myself, I take time to go to the gym, I take time out to put in that work, it allows me the freedom of focusing on something other than myself. You know, yeah, I'm doing this, I am benefiting from it physically and mentally and emotionally in so many different ways, but just from that small act of showing up for myself and pushing myself, making myself, forcing myself to be in a state of being uncomfortable, right? Because that's what happens when you start getting into your physical journey, right? You push yourself, you get to a point where it's like, okay, 1 minute you're not able to lift anything really because your upper body may not be as strong. I know that was my situation. I started off taking classes. Which had some weights in it, and it wasn't until recently, like literally recently, exactly what science usually say, after doing something consistent, you'll see like within a month. After a month, you'll start to see the progress. I started seeing the difference in my body, the difference in my posture, and definitely in the difference in my strength, which allows me to go a little harder. Now, this is not about pushing yourself to the brinks of no return, but you should always take time to push yourself, make yourself uncomfortable. I heard this parable from this gentleman that I never seen before. It was like, when you scrolling down his reels, and he said that he mentioned that if you do not make yourself uncomfortable, the universe wants you to push yourself. The universe wants you to be tested, basically. And if you don't test yourself, you will get tested. And the more you put yourself in a position of you're the one testing yourself, is the less that you would have to deal with weird circumstances showing up in your life of testing you, because you are already in the facility of testing yourself, if that makes any sense. And that brings so much light to me. It makes me, number one, it quiets the sound of worry in my mind. It allows me to look at the future in much more in a prosperous state. And I felt a deep desire to share that with you guys, because let me tell you something, the simplest things, guys, the simplest things in life can be so magical, right? I decided to take the ranges of my life and say, okay, what can I change? What would I change if I could? What can I change and I can actually stick with, right? Because a lot of times we make these big goals, right? And it's not to say don't make big goals, but I find when you make what's that word I'm looking for? I don't want to say logical, right? Because dreams are made to come true, right? But when you make attainable goals, attainable in the present, knowing that, okay, so I said to myself, I decided to go to the gym every other day, right? So going to the gym every other day, including rest. So usually it looks something like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Saturday and Sunday, on Sundays, I usually take Benji, which is my teacup Yorkie, for those that don't know. We go to one of the parks that we love to frequent and take in nature, and we get in a good brisk walk at that. So that's still a form of exercise. It wasn't until recently that I also still do a light workout on my rest days. Nothing crazy, but still allowing my body to feel vigorous and move, because you've been sleeping for how many hours, right? So you want to remind the body that we have things to do. We are here to work, right? And that is my journey. It's really interesting how you can take something as simple, well, it sounds simple because, okay, as simple as going for a walk every day, or doing any type of physical health. You make it a point to do that thing for yourself. You make it a point to keep that promise to yourself, whether it's rain. You guys, I have showed up over here whining about that rain, conquered that, getting myself out of my comfort zone, because so many years, so many beautiful days, okay, it's raining, okay, it's cold, okay, it's snowy, right? We don't prefer those type of weather. Well, some people do, right? But I would, for so many years, hide behind the shadows of, I was born with rheumatoid arthritis and blah 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 blah, and I can't do this because this is going to trigger this, and this is going to trigger that, and this is going to be triggered, to the point where you build this wall of cannot, to the point where you are just immobile and life is passing you by and you are withering. I hate to make it so blatant, but it's true. It really is true. And if I can save anyone from that type of demise, it is my pleasure. You know, I have shared with you guys that I am on a self mastery journey. I will be 50 in a few months, and I intend, by the grace of everything good, to show up as my best self. I believe when you make it a point to be better than the version that you were the last day, which is yesterday, these constant wins, whether it's, you know, you're going to read more, whether you're going to, you know, maybe eat less red meat, or change up your diet into more of a healthier version for your body, because we all need differently, right? What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. But you are the conduit of your life. You are the one that knows, you know what you need to do. You know what works for you. You don't need anybody, nevertheless me, to tell you what to do. But I'm here as a friendly nudge to offer you to look back in. Ask yourself the question, if there's anything that you could change, what that would be, and start from there. Because the answer is it is not to make it sound so crazy. It usually, as soon as you ask that question to yourself, presto, it just shows up. Because we always know what we need to do, we just don't do it. Guys, I love you so much. I am going to eat some lunch because your girl's appetite, guys, my appetite has been so big lately, and I know it's because of the weights. But anyway, guys, I love you so much. Stay blessed, stay empowered. Be sure to check out all the information down below. I do post a blog on my blog every Thursday, and also all things that I create reside on my blog, so be sure to check that out. A blog post goes up every single Thursday. Also, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, on my podcast, okay? Because my podcast has her own channel, so be sure to check out the vibes over there. We're popping over there. I'm loving the growth. I'm feeling the growth. I'm taking it one step at a time, and I just feel so blessed and so humbled to be able to share my growth with each and every one of you. And thank you so much again. As always, I want to get all misty eyes, okay? Thank y'all for your support, okay? We're going to leave it like that. Stay blessed, stay empowered, love yourself, be there for yourselves, guys, because you're it. You're literally it.